Alright everybody, so for the first video we're going to show you how to get to all your resources and how to access Snap and a little bit about it. So first off, so if you're watching this video you're probably already at this site or have a link to it, but just to cover my all my bases I'm going to show you how to get there. So to get to our Lamar HPCL website with all the videos and lesson plans and whatnot, you can just go to Google and type in HPCL Lamar, and you have slow internet. Alright, and it should be the first result. So it says HPCL Lamar University. So let's click on that. And then we come to this page, the High Performance Computing Laboratory of Lamar University. And you'll see right here an Outreach tab. These gray tabs, it says Outreach. Go to the second one that says K through 12 Teacher. You click that. And it'll take you to this page right here. And since this is online, we want to go to the online workshop here on the left under workshops. You click that. And everything will be listed here. And so that is how you get to all the resources. Now let's go over Snap. So Snap is a common word. If I just type in Snap, I get supplemental food assistance stuff. So a good way to do it is when you type in Snap, also type in BYOB. So what that does is BYOB stands for Build Your Own Blocks. That used to be the name of Snap, but since Snap BYOB is not a common search term, you should get this as your first result. So if you see Snap BYOB, and the link address to that is snap.berkeley, that is BERKELEY.edu, and that will take you to this site right here. Alright, so this is the main Snap website. There's some history about it. It says it was formerly BYOB. It is a visual drag and drop programming language. What that means is instead of actually having to type in the code is already kind of pre-compiled, pre-assembled as these easy to read blocks. So it makes coding a lot easier. So you might have to scroll down some. We see two buttons here, and we want to click on the first. It says Run Snap Now. So a big orange button. Let's click on that. And this, what just loaded up, this is Snap. This is the actual program that we are going to be using. So let's familiarize ourselves a little bit with just a few of the basics. We're going to go these tabs over here. These are the code blocks. We're going to be going into a lot more detail about these in different videos. So if you don't know what something does, don't fret. We'll definitely cover it. Alright, so first things first is we have this little it says Snap up here. Now it doesn't turn like into a hand, so you might not have figured this out by yourself, I don't know. But anyways, it just says Snap right here. I can zoom up some. I think I can. No, the keyboard won't let me. Let me try this really quick. So let's zoom up. And it did not affect Snap. Alright. So anyways, if you can see it, it just says Snap right here. So if you left click that once, we see About, a reference manual, Snap website, and download source. So if we click on About, it just gives you some information about what Snap is, why Snap was developed, who made Snap. So we have credits, modules, license, all that stuff. So that's not really important for our needs right now. So let's just hit OK, which is right here. Alright, so if we click on Snap again, we see a reference manual. So if we click on that, it will open up a new page for you. And context clues. It says reference manual, so it is a manual for Snap. It's a PDF, so once it's finished loading, you should be able to download it. So you can download it by pressing this button right here, top. It says download, and you can click it and save file. You can set where you'd like to save it. But anyways, so here's the manual, and it gives instructions on how to do some of the code, and what some of the buttons do and whatnot. But the only this manual is helpful, but the problem I found with it is that, as I mentioned earlier, Snap used to be BYOB, build your own blocks, and this manual, last time I checked, actually has coding examples and whatnot that are based on BYOB. So some of the jargon they use and some of the examples they use aren't really applicable, but this is still a good place to go to if you get stuck. So next thing, our next button under the Snap logo is the Snap website, and we've already been here, but just in case you need to go back, that'll take you there. And then we have download source. So what this does is it downloads I do believe the source of Snap. Or the code. So I do believe you can run this offline if you do snap.html. So yeah, so let's say you are not going to be have access to internet and you'd still like to run the code. So if you download the source, you just scroll down until you find snap.html. Well, let's try that real quick. I'm going to disconnect from the internet and test this out. And if it loads, if we have success, then that is good. So yes, I am currently not connected to the internet, and I am still able to run Snap. So that is good for any of you who might have problems with that. Oh, yeah, fix it here. Okay, so our next button, let me close this real quick, is the like a piece of paper with a fold in it. So if we click on that, all this stuff pops up. So the first one is project notes. So let's click on that and see what happens. So if you create a project, it might not be super self-explanatory. So you might want to leave notes to whomever will run the program, or you might not finish a program you're working on in one sitting, and you'd like to leave yourself some notes like, I need to do this next, had a problem doing with this, maybe could fix it using this. Or if you create curriculum for your students or whomever, you could leave them maybe hints or instructions like figure out how to display 2 + 2 = 4 using a insert code here, whatever you want to put. So if you press OK, So if they open up this program, if they go to project notes, then that note will be right there. Alright, so actually let's go to this little cloud button here real quick. It's the button next to the paper. If we click on that, we see login, sign up, and reset password. So to log in, we first have to sign up. So let's click on this first. So if you click sign up, it wants you to get a username. So that can be anything you want. You know, birth date, birth year, an email address, and you want to click I have read and agreed to the terms of service. Hit OK. So let's just create a quick little throwaway account. So I'll call it Josh W. Put in my birthday. Put in my email address. And press OK. Or agree to the terms of service. And then press OK. And so now I'm signed up. So now if I hit login, or it says account is created, an email with your password has been sent to the address provided. So whatever email address you put in, you will go to that. So let me go to my email address that I sent it to. And we see that I have an email subject welcome to Snap. So it says thank you for signing up. Your chosen username is Josh W. Your initial password is, and it gives me this weird number right here, a weird combination. It says you can change this to a password of your choosing after you log in. So what you can do is left click your mouse and drag it, like keep on holding left click, and once your initial password is highlighted, you right click on the highlight and do copy. And so now let's go back to Snap and let's click on the cloud again. And let's do login, should be the first option. And it asks for a username, and so I chose Josh W. And the password, I'm just going to right click, or actually I'm going to press Control V, or actually it's not even working. Oh well. So let's go back to our email and see what it was. So it says our password is XG2236. So let's type in XG2236. And you can choose to stay signed in on this computer until logging out, but I'm not going to right now, so let's press OK. It says I'm now connected. So once we are connected, if we click on this cloud, we see that the options have changed. So it asks if we'd like to log out, and then asks if we'd like to change your password. XG2236 or whatever it was is not the easiest password to remember. So if you click change password, you have to re-enter the password one more time. So it's XG2236, and then you can put in a new password. And I'm not going to tell you XG2236, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but something different. And then put in the new password you want, and then you just type in the same thing again, just repeat it, hit OK. And now we got a message that says password has been changed. Alright, so once that happens, you have to re-log in once more. So click on the cloud and log in, and we can type it all in, it'll be good. But let's pretend that we accidentally forget our password. So if we click on the cloud, we see we have a reset password button. So if we click that, it wants you to type in your username. So I chose Josh W. Let me turn off Skype, that might speed things up a little. Alright, so it says password reset key has been issued. An email with a link to reset your password has been sent to the address provided. So the email address that you initially put in to register, that's the email it's going to use. So if we hit OK, and if you check your email, we see that we have a snap password reset. So it says, hi Josh W, you received a request to reset your password. Click here, follow this link. So if we click it, it says, hi, your password has been reset to, now it says J62CYD. So that's our new password, or mine, reset, so J62CYD. So if we log in, it is J62CYD. Press OK. It says we are now connected. And we're going to change my password one more time. Just to make it a little easier on myself. Alright, so let's just grab some blocks real quick just to show this example. So let's pretend that this right here is my big code that I've been working on for days and I'd hate for something to happen to it. So what we can do is we can go to save underneath the paper and we can save it to the cloud. And so what that means is you can work on your Snap project from any computer as long as you're connected to the internet and you're logged into your username. You can access your saved work on the cloud. And we see here when we left the project note, it also appears here. And it gives a like a preview picture of our project. So if we name this quick example and hit save, it tells me I'm not logged in. So make sure you're logged in. Now after you're logged in, now connected. Now if we hit save, it says that it's saved. Or you can do save as. So let's pretend that we change something minor, like instead of a 15 we say 20. And we want to save this as a totally new project. You just go to the paper, and if you do save, it will overwrite your quick example that we just saved. So we see the title of it now that we named it. So if you do save as, you can make almost like a copy of it, I guess. So we put quick example 2, and then let's hit save. And so now, if you go to a different computer, let's hit the paper again and do open. If you're logged in, you should see your examples or your projects, and it tells you when it was last changed. So it says last changed at 15th of 1/18. And we can share this. So if you want to publish it, what that'll do is it will I guess like put it on the Snap, whatever they call it. And we see we can access some examples right here. So these are examples that were made by the Snap team. Let's go back to our cloud here. And we can also delete, or we can unshare our projects. We can open them, obviously, or we can delete the project. Alright, so let's go back to our paper. So if we hit new, what that'll do is, see how we have, it says quick example 2 right here? If we hit new, let's say do you want to replace the current project with a new one, if you hit yes, then it will get rid of the code stuff right here, and we notice for the title now it says untitled, so you're working with a blank slate here, tabula rasa. Alright. Alright, so we have import. It says load an exported project file or block library, a costume or a sound. So if we hit input, here's a shark. We can double click it. Picture of a shark, and so this will be in our project now if we'd like to use it. If we go back to the paper, we can also, in the description it says we can import sounds or code blocks. So let me get rid of this real quick. Alright, so let's pretend we have a program here. This is our awesome program, and we want to export our project. So if you go to the paper and hit export project, we can give it a name, awesome project. Press OK, and then we'll give us this crazy looking file that looks totally useless, but it's not, I promise. So to save it, when this pops up, if you right click your mouse, there'll be a save page button. It might be worded differently depending on your browser, but just look for something that says save. That's the keyword. And if you click that, we want to save it as a mine says webpage complete.xml. I think as long as it's an XML, it doesn't matter. So we'll call this project Josh. You can choose where you want to save it. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. Let's hit save. Alright, so now our project has been exported. So to use it, let me create a new project here real quick. So we see where I saved this on my very neat desktop. The project josh.xml folder or file. If we left click that, hold our left click and drag it to our little workspace here in Snap, and it says opening project, and we see this is the project that we previously had. So export blocks, if you do some of the advanced features of Snap, so these are code blocks right here. You can actually create your own blocks. So that's actually under the variables tab. I'm not going to go into this really right now, but we see there is a make a block button. Actually, real quick, something else useful for Snap. If you go to the cog up here, top of the screen, there's a language tab. If we hit that, if you speak a different language besides English, you can pick that language. There is a zoom blocks, which is what I want right now. So what this does is it just makes the size of these blocks bigger. So you can just get this and drag it to a size you like using this slider, or you can use this drop down menu right here and choose one. So normal, demo, goes all the way monster. So I'm going to choose presentation just for these videos. Once you choose your size, hit OK. And now we see that the blocks are a little bigger and hopefully easier to read. Alright, so the block example. So there's a make block button. When you click that, you can make a block. So I'm just going to give it a name. We'll call it Josh block. Press OK. Press OK again. And now we see that I have a block called a Josh block. Well, what happens is if I make a new project, if I go up to new, hit OK, you notice my Josh block is gone. And you can create some really complicated blocks, so you don't want to put a whole lot of work into this block and maybe want to use it later but it gets deleted. So we're going to remake the block real quick. So we see you have this Josh block. Now if I want to keep this block for future projects, if you go up to the piece of paper in the top and go to export blocks, we can see the blocks that we created. So there's the Josh block. If we had more than one, you could uncheck or check the ones you want to export by making sure there's a check mark to it. If you press OK, it'll make another XML file, just like when we export our project. And the saving process is the same as when you export your project, so just right click your mouse and do save page as or save, whatever it says for you. And we can call it what we want, so Josh block. And so we see now, if we go to our piece of paper and do new project, our Josh block is gone, but it's on our desktop. So if you left click and drag that to the your workspace, now we see our Josh block is back. Alright. Up here in the little cogwheel, we also see a stage size. And so what this is you can just set the width and height of your stage. All this stuff. I'm going to leave it as is though right now. Alright. We also have a import tools. It says load the official library of powerful blocks. Normally you won't need this. Actually, regret clicking it, but it's too much for Stencil to handle, so hold on. Alright, so we're back. Alright, so yeah. So import tools, it says load the official library of powerful blocks. As someone who's just learning how to use Snap, I would not recommend doing this. Our next thing under the piece of paper is libraries. So select categories of additional blocks to add to this project. And we see we can import something about composition, about lists, about words, sentences. So if you're doing something that specifically deals with that, some of these blocks might really come in handy. Alright, we underneath the piece of paper we have costumes and sounds. So if you click costumes, it'll give you a list of images that you can use as your sprite. So if I choose Cat 4, now he is crazy looking. So now we have a costume for our sprite, and I'll go into that later. If we go onto the piece of paper again and go to the very bottom, it says sounds. You see we have a few sounds we can choose from. So if we choose cat, we'll have a sound now. You can hit play. I don't know if you hear that, but alright. So this is how your underneath the costumes tab. This is how your sprite normally looks. It's called Turtle. I'm not exactly sure why, but you can have costumes for it. We saw I just imported one by doing the paper costumes and chose one. You can make your own by hitting the paintbrush. Little stick figure man, and we can see we have colors and we make shapes and fill it in, and we can clear it and undo and whatnot. But let's just hit OK. And so this is another costume for our sprite. And we also have sounds. You can import more, or you can drag sounds from your desktop, like so. I do not have any sounds on my desktop. Let's pretend this was a sound. You just left click and drag it and bring it right here, and it would import the sound for you. Same thing with the costumes. You can do that with a picture. Alright. To create a new sprite, it's over here. If you click this, it says add a new turtle sprite. It will just add another turtle, or that's what it's called. And to give it a new costume or sounds or code, it's the same process, just clicking on these tabs. And to switch back and forth between your two sprites, you just click on them. And if you would like to create a new sprite that's not the turtle, you click this little paintbrush that says paint a new sprite. So we have a smiley face. And now that is our new sprite. So we have another there. Now we also have the stage right here. And we can create, we can import a picture, which is the same way we would do for a sprite. We would just get a picture and drag it right here. So I have a picture called wood platform here. If you left click and drag it, then that's our new background. Or you can paint a new costume for your stage. So you can draw some trees, I guess. And this would be our new background. I'm trying to get a little too artistic here, I guess. Oops. Well, that tree's gonna be brown, I guess. So is the sky. Yeah, there's some trees. It's a nice forest, right? And so that'd be our background. We have there are a couple different ways to run your programs in Snap. But this right here, depending on the block you choose, will run it. This will pause it, and this will stop it. If you click this button right here, it will minimize your little workspace, or not your workspace, it will maximize your workspace by minimizing your what's going on, and just you can click it again to make it back to its original size. And if you click the two arrows, that will maximize where your program will run. And once again, just click on it again to bring it back to normal size. So I do believe that does it for, I guess, a brief little overview. Let's just create a quick little program real quick, just to see how this works. We'll create a very simple program. So first things first, you will always need a control block, and this is here under control. So I'm going to say, and make sure you have to put the code blocks under the script tab. So make sure you're on script. So I'm going to left click and drag this. This is when flag is clicked, and that is the same flag that's up here. I am now going to go to the motion tab, and this is just a quick example. If I'm moving too fast for you, other videos will cover this. It says move 10 steps. I'm just going to click and drag that. And now, so that's our program. If we hit the flag up here and then look at our cat, it moves when we hit the flag. And so that's a program in itself right there.